everyone. This is Grand Madam. Welcome to the Grand Collective. Happy Friday. Well, after a week like this has been, I thought it would be a good idea to pull out the crystal cards and have a crystal reading for the weekend. So let's get started. This is just going to be for the collective, for us, and probably for anybody who decides to drop by. Hey, C. Kurtz. Hey, Theo. Great morning. Great morning. I'm going to do the crystal reads for us. We're going to pull up some good news for a change. Just for let me change this designation right here. I want the chat to be live. There we go. I got everybody here. Okay. And so we're going to have a great start for the weekend. Hi, Denise. Happy Friday to you too. Let's see. What is the message from the crystals? The crystal oracles. What is the message for us, for the collective? I don't know about you, but it's cold. It dropped from being pleasantly warm now to putting the wolves back on. Good morning, Connie. Hey, Tracy Montgomery. How are you? Good morning, Elena. Elaine, I'm sorry. I did see Elena. Hello, Elaine and Elena. Okay. Yeah, I've got my reading glasses on now. Okay. We're going to do the crystal reads for the weekend. See what are the messages for the Grand Collective for the crystal reads. Hi, Jackie B. Hello, Connie Morris. For the collective. What are the messages for the collective? I'm not going to be on here too long. It's Friday. Okay. Got to get the hair did and the nails done. Okay. Okay, you want me to do what? Okay. Overall energy. Moldavite. Hello. Well, we do have a very open-minded crew. So what they're saying is which means stay open-minded, meaning it's going to be some controversial stuff this weekend. Just keep your open mind. That is the message of the Moldavite. Now, internally, okay, Sunstone. Some of you are going to have your leadership qualities seeping out. Some of you might have to just take over a situation. So this is it's so far so good. It's getting ready to turn out to be an interesting weekend. How do you say you know? Yeah, okay. Ocean jasper. That's a beautiful color. It's not this color though, but it is a beautiful color when you see it. It's greenish, bluish, whitish, squiggly-ish. Renewal. This is a chance to renew. This is a chance to get your rest in and to renew. This is also a chance to make up for what has been broken. Hello, Angie Bell. For what has been broken. So we are asked to be open-minded, kick out those leadership skills, and renew some stuff. Oh, y'all. These cards are so pleasant and so sweet, but I can see right through them, honey. Emerald, growth. It's going to be challenging. I don't know how much challenging. I really don't know. I'm going to say not too challenging, and then something hits you with a bang. So I don't know. I can just tell from the way the cards are reading, you're going to have to be on your P's and Q's this weekend. Transition. Oh, some of you rutilated quartz. Some of you may be experiencing a transition of loved ones or an absolute change in the way you do things. Transition can also mean change in location, change in occupation, change in position, politically, physically, mentally, emotionally, change. And the rutilated quartz is here to help you make that change a smooth one. If you, it's like a brownish kind of quartz. If you're anywhere near a gem store, it might be a good idea to pick up some. And look at this, obstacle calcite. I've never heard of optical calcite. And this is about clearing out energy. You're clearing out some energy. Something's going to pop off this weekend, y'all. The orange menace never sleeps. So, yeah, it's going to pop out. Before you react or do anything, what these cards are basically asking you is to clear out yourself, ground yourself, prepare yourself to take charge of something. I don't know what. And here's quartz. Focus. Have focus. So this is interesting. These are all inner traits that have to be brought about, activated from within out. You're going to need them. Amethyst and discernment. So now you're going to get, okay, if you have to practice discernment, that means you're going to be bombarded with a lot of lies and half-truths, which are lies, propaganda, stuff, delusionment. So you're going to have to, for me, my discernment comes out of here and here at the same time, like, what? And it feels weird sometimes, but I cannot overlook it. Hey, Joan, how are you? Sheila, hello. Julie, hello. There's no overlooking it. This starts to spinning. I can feel like, oh, what's in my chest? Or this starts to throbbing. And when they do it at the same time, it's just time for me to get up and leave. Or put the blanket back over my head and try again, Yellow jasper, concerned about support. You will have your support. The card is yellow, meaning it is regarding your intellect. These cards, I say 1, 2, I have 2. One mustard colored, one Dijon colored. That's the intellect. These other cards are the green emerald. That's heart-centered also. The purple amethyst is spirit, crown, chakra. And these other cards, the brown ones are of the earth. So that means it's going to be material stuff, earth stuff, three-dimensional stuff. That's going to grab your attention this week. And here's some, look, agate. Yeah, material stuff. They're beautiful kinds of agate. Stability. So you're going to be double checking your finances. Some of you will have to double check those stock portfolios and your bank accounts. Yeah. And here comes some more quartz. This is rose quartz. Empathy. Practicing empathy. Okay. Feel for those who found themselves in some bizarre positions. Prehnite, self-sufficiency. Look at this, self-sufficiency. This is a mixture of green and yellow. This is self-care. It's called prehnite. I've never heard of that. Lepidolite, decisiveness, lepidolite. But it's in, what color is that? Is that like a lavender? Lepidolite, decisiveness. There are going to be some challenges this weekend. I don't know if it's for all or some or one, but all of you. Okay, I just heard that loud and clear. Okay, including me? No, I'm out of it this week. I'm out of it this week, y'all. But you're probably going to hear something in the news that's going to upset you again. But more so, other people you're going to have to be responsible to, or you'll feel responsible for, to keep them grounded. Tourmalinated quartz. Trying to keep things simple. Tourmaline. Maybe the black tourmaline, maybe the blue tourmaline, but it's going to be a mental challenge trying to keep things simple. So somebody's going to come up with some convoluted, complicated propaganda, and for some of you, it's going to be on a personal level. It's just outright lies and bullshit. Okay. If you watch Country Wayne skits, it'll be the stuff, the kind. Hi, Jaconda, the kind, and Carol, the kind of stuff you hear coming out of Terry's mouth to Libby and to Dominique. Convoluted bullshit. Okay. All right. Hematite. This is definitely black. Yeah, I would still get some of that green or blue tourmaline. I like blue and sometimes black tourmaline. Black tourmaline will clear out a whole lot of negative stuff around you. But for whatever your heart says, whatever you're led to get, see if you can't grab some tourmaline. If not tourmaline, grab the color blue. Kind of blue. I'm over here in all gray right about now. My pillows are blue. Um, a calming blue. A calming blue. That would help you focus on your concentration. I'm looking for some colors. Oh, the cat's blanket. I'm not going to pull that out right. Hold on a second. Oh, a Shiva Lingham's coming up next. Okay. Um, hmm, no, that's not blue enough. Uh, okay. Oh, heck. I did all that only to turn around and see my coffee cup. Blue, tourmaline blue. You can get tourmaline that color, you can get it this color, you can get it black. I've even seen green. But it's to keep you focused, to keep you able to. I have been seeing things running by me, people walking. It's time to clear this place again. But they're not only inside, they're outside. I've got the door open again. It's weird sometimes. So when you see me, something's just passed by. They don't come in, but they just pass by. And I'm thinking is, how did they get on this porch? I didn't hear. But anyway, um, tourmalated quartz, tourmaline, will help you simplify things, which are going to be really a challenge because the energy of confusion and chaos is going to be brewing big time. But meditate, chant, do whatever it takes that you can get your mind clear and centered so you can cut through the BS, especially when you're dealing with personal issues. That political stuff, just turn that stuff off. But personal issues, okay? Hematite is black. Do I have any? Nope. Around here that I could get access to? Nope. Um, it's a beautiful black stone. That does help with concentration. It does help with concentration. Ah, my favorite. Outcome. What is this about here? My lapis lazuli. Now, shame on me. I definitely have lapis around the house. Authenticity. Gemini, Mercury, Virgo, authenticity. So this weekend, it's almost like this is going to be interesting. I did it again. Now, I have a cat that astral projects, but especially when he's been bad and he's been sequestered to the basement and he pops up in my room or walks by, and I'm like, I know I put that cat in the basement. That means come get me out. I'm ready. So I go get him. Um, where is the cat? Give me a second. Yep, the door is open so you can come out. Okay. Um. Bottom of the deck, we have the Shingamingam, and it is about compatibility. I've shown you folks the lingam, Shiva lingam, and how it comes together. Compatibility. This could be relationships, y'all. This could be the energies around your interpersonal relationships. And here we have security, smoky quartz. And this is the color of the smoky quartz. It looks like somebody has taken a quartz crystal and dipped it in some dirt. Is Ken up there with you? Yeah. Oh, okay. I just saw his spirit come over here by my foot, and I'm like, what the? Is he okay? Is he asleep? Is he asleep? Yeah. He's doing it again. Okay. I have an astral projecting cat. Okay. Okay, and then we have Peach says release. Okay, so some of you are really going to go through some interesting things this weekend, and it all seems to depend. The outcome of whatever is going on is going to depend upon how you see things, how um, how you think, how you work with other people, how you operate in this world, and the environment from which you are a part of or from which you have come from. Good day, Jen Beth. Kristen Ford. Oh, Kristen, yeah. Drop me an email. I think I may have the answer to what you asked me before, but it took a while to understand what was going on. Hi, Ella Bailey. Red Roses. Hello. So let's go see what else is going on right about now. Um, Questions? Does anybody have any questions? All right, let's look at the State of the Union again. Uh, yeah, for me, Cash App is better. On that note, hold on a second. And on that note, okay, let me pop mine in there. Okay. Yep, that's it. Okay. Now, the State of the Union. Let's see. We know it's messed up. We know it. Let me get more specific. Insider trading. Yes, MTG. Well, Big Mouth. Let me stop that. Well, Big Mouth. And I actually worked with a woman like that, and they fired me. She'd been there. People like that serve a purpose. People like that serve a purpose. And they're loud, they're wrong, they're boisterous, they're total assholes for management. They're plants. They're plants. That's exactly what they are. Plants. Mm-hmm. Well, MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Will she go to jail like Martha Stewart for insider trading? Mm-hmm. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene. This is one more. Hold on, one more. They say one more shot. My tarot team. Say one more shot. Cut it out, y'all. Okay. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Oh, look how many people are hoping for it. That's my yes card. That's a yes card. Let's keep going. Ooh, they're gonna blow the house down. Here's the tower. And crossing that, yeah. Evaluation. Yeah, you evaluated the situation all right. And then she turned around and let me buy this stuff while it's low. These stocks are going down, so I'm gonna go and grab one here. Grab a couple of them. Folks, I hate to be a goody two shoes because let me tell you something. I was working at a temp in an investment company. And you know how people have stacks of paperwork, they put it on the floor, they put it here, they put it there, on the floor. Face up was an IPO. They're getting ready, this company was getting ready to go IPO. And I looked and I said, damn. All I had to do was keep my mouth shut and go and call up. Yeah, I want to put $5 on. What was it? What was it? That thing went to the millions. That thing after that public offering, that thing hit millions of dollars almost overnight. It was BET. Never again will I be a goody two shoes like that. Never. Well, they couldn't have said it was. Yeah, they could have. No, they couldn't, because I was a temp. I had no connection with that company. They would never have my name on record. Damn. I'd just be sitting in a more fabulous place for you folks, probably at the ocean, in the Great Canary Island somewhere, in the sun, as my toes were warmed up by the water as it comes in and goes out, and I'll be throwing cards down, sipping on my little umbrella drink. Hello, Maria. I'm not doing that again. Okay. So, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I'm putting cards in and talking at the same time. Here's the treachery. Here's the deceitfulness. This is the 7 of Swords. It is insider trading. She was fully aware of what she was doing. Oh, look. I think they're going to ask her to leave Congress. 3 of Swords. Separation. There is a separation. Oh, look. These are probably the stocks. This is the 7 of Cups. A lot of confusion. There's no confusion. It's called insider trading. If I had done it. Ooh. An upside down Ace of Swords. She's lying already. Here comes. Okay. You asked the question if she's going to jail. Here comes the subterfuge. Here comes the confusion. Now look at this. Here it comes, folks. By the time they finish with that story about MTG, she's going to be wearing wings. She's going to be giving funds away for Trans Children's Health Bank. By the time we hear it, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Sorry about the rant, y'all. Hi, Ray. He's going to be supporting. I'm not sure. This is probably Fearless Leader right about now. 47. She's going to get away with it. 6 of Cups. Here's 6 of Wands. The victory. With his help and his spin. Oh, that really makes me boils my blood right now. Especially remembering that $5 that would have turned into a $5 million. Foolish. They're going to make us all feel like fools and dummies. They're going to make it work. Slowly but surely, this is Temperance. They're going to find a way to make it make it appear as though she did not practice insider trading, which she did. Oh, I had bought those stocks weeks ago. It's just posting now. You know what? Rump is going to be. I have Oh, wait a minute, let me ask this. Yeah, it's still up in the air. Look, volatile stocks. Stocks are so volatile, but I bought these weeks ago. But if you're really upset about this, I'll just withdraw and give them, I'll just sell it off again. I'll just get rid of it. And this is the action. This is the spin doctor. This is the spin doctor. King of Wands, spin doctor. He's got a problem on his hands because everybody knows what insider trading is. We all know who Martha Stewart is. They're kind of stuck. But she's going to try, and Fearless Leader is going to try to spin it in such a way that it was going to be perfectly legal and okay. they're working on it. They're working on it now. So, dang on, I forgot that. The pendulum says, is Marjorie Taylor Greene going to jail for insider trading like Martha Stewart did? No. No. Not at all. They're going to spin this. They're going to. No, she took that money and put it back into USAID. No, that money was for the Orphans and Children's Society. This is going to be good. This is probably what's going to go happen this weekend. Now, as far as Trump. Okay, guys. Let me talk to Trump's. The hell with his guys. I know they're guys, but they're probably blocked. I'm gonna talk to my guys then. Is Trump going to be arrested for any of the shenanigans that he has? No. Okay, they didn't even finish the sentence. No. So what is going to be the outcome for 47 after doing all this stuff, after playing these tariff games, because we now know it was a deliberate manipulation to make some money, quick, fast, quick, get richer, quicker scheme. What's the outcome for him? For Teflon Don. What's the outcome for Teflon Don? All right, let's ask, what's the consequences for Teflon Don? Not jail time, but sequestered. Don't tell me they're going to put a bracelet on his ankle and that's... He's not going to jail for that either, Tracy. However, I have said this before, and I will say it again. When the government comes for you, you know where there's no escape. Let me see. Let me put this over here. These aren't the cards. Maybe they are. I'm using the crime cards, true crime, for what can we expect for Trump, the consequences for this tariff business. What can we expect? Going broke. Okay, I heard that. What else can we expect for T-Rump? What else can we expect for T-Rump after all that has been done about not bringing Mr. Abriego Garcia back to Maryland, about creating a trade war with the world? What are the consequences for that? Let's see what this looks like. There's a camel in Saudi Arabia waiting for you, sir. Oh, always. Storyteller, that's the whole purpose. Yes. Oh, look, here we go. Consequences. Natural disasters. You see, that's when, because he's the leader. Oh, snap. Please don't let the people suffer anymore. Mountains are obstacles. Mountains are obstacles. It's like since, oh, good gosh, I'm getting ready to get a chill. Because what this is telling me, I only got 3 cards down there: the desert, natural disasters, and mountains. And what this is telling me is because the government won't do anything to him, then it goes into the hands of spirit. And spirit ain't playing. Too many people have been affected. Desert is dry land. Natural disasters could be anything. And mountains are most definitely major, major obstacles. Here with spouse or partner. Something may happen to the spouse. Oh, she's running up debts. The partners are in debt. Now, this doesn't have to be the spouse, but this could also be his oligarchy business partners. He should have wished dismemberment. Going to be torn apart. Here's revenge again. I don't know who. Being watched, surveillance. Oh, that might be the ankle bracelet. At home. Judges ruled by the rule of law, Tracy, and that's what they've been doing so far. That's just what they've been doing. Uh-oh. Don't tell that ankle bracelet better not turn up missing now, or there's going to be a response. There will be a response. Oh, no. Oh, this is not good. Missing child. And legal proceedings. They're slow walking him down. But he's going to, it's lies. Yeah, for the lies that have been told. Power supply. There goes the electricity, y'all. Sorry. And the fuel. Yeah. Oh, the whole cult is going to come down. They are, they're going to be buried. They're going to bury him. Woo. See this? Secret what? What's secret? What's secret? What's secret? They're going to choke the life out the cult. That's what they're going to do. Those trapped in it can't get out. They're going to make it so that nobody has an area. No one can escape. Which is what the FBI does that. And here's aliens. I think they mean outdoor migrants. Aliens inside. Aliens inside. Whoa. Now, it also could be alien influence. But see, alien influence does not necessarily mean extraterrestrial. But how about intraterrestrial? Insider trash. Insider landfill. And fire. What this is telling me is because natural disasters. These are the natural disasters that come upon a land when the people no longer make their offerings or believe in the gods or they God. And in this case, there's nothing the king or the pharaoh could do. In this case, it's kind of reversed. It's just the king or the pharaoh, the president in our situation, does not yield to the laws of nature or the rule of law. When you ignore one set of rules, you really have ignored them all. And when you ignore the rules, when you ignore the law, things get thrown out of whack. And because things get thrown out of whack, this is where you have things like, okay, now you don't have any water. You don't have any electricity. You don't have any air. You're going to die out there. Now you've got uncontrolled waters. You have floods. You have hurricanes. You have tornadoes. It's called Risho Okukuran in Japanese. And you have mountainous obstacles that you just cannot seem to climb. Oh, I hope they get his buns before any of this happens in the United States, but I think it's happening anyway. You have fires that can't be contained, things like that. And that's because things have come, they're just too far out of whack. They've gone too far out of whack. And that's what's going to get him and them. What about us? What about us? What about the collective? What about the other folk? What about the people who make the country? What about the folks who are not in government service? What about the folks who are not in his administration? What about us? Don't be a smartass. What about us? You keep saying you'll be fine. They keep saying we'll be fine. They don't have bodies like we do. Will our bodies be fine? And see, that's something else. Okay. The essence of it all is that we will be fine. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. Um, let's look at us again. I'm gonna look at us in different with leave this here. What about because see the tyranny of the king or the president, and it's trickles down. What about the people? Well, the president is playing king and taking away the people's benefits, the social benefits, and emboldening and enriching himself and his friends. What happens with us? What happens with those who do follow the law? Mm-hmm. What happens? What about us? What about us? Some of us will be enriched. We have to stand up for what is right to us. Take the challenge. What else? We stand our ground. Show no sign of weakness because we're not weak. We are powerful. What else? I'm not saying that to them. They'll get mad with me. Stop whining and take charge. Okay. You will be fine. Okay. They say the spirit. I have my tarot team and I have my own guides, my spiritual guides around me. They say together, between them all, amongst them all, they're saying, and there's plenty of them, we will be fine. Hey, Kamoyo, how are you? We will be fine. Yeah. Yeah. And one of them is over there getting a little ticked off with the whining. Okay. So we're going to stop complaining and start strategizing. Yes. Okay. That's the one that's ticked off. I don't know which side. He's on this ear for me. Or she. They all sound masculine to me. Mm-hmm. When I first started meditating, all of my guides they looked like Catholic priests, and they were in their garb, their Easter garb, with the purple robes and the white robes and the cross. All of them. I was a little girl looking up, and I was surrounded by Catholic priests, and I was going, didn't expect that. They were laughing at me. They were just jovial, and they were all white men. I don't know what that means. Am I breaking? Am I cutting now? Okay, cut. Okay. So how will we be? You're gonna be fine. We're going to ask questions about the triumvirate, the big three, and we are going to be in our fields regarding our money and our 401ks and our social security and our legacy money, our backup money. We are going to become, when it hits the fan, we're going to go, mm-hmm. Oh. Uh-huh. Is this Pam Bondi? I don't know. She's getting scared. We will not be afraid. We will be more this than we are. Well, that's us now than this. More angered than fearful. Ooh, look at this. And what did I say? We are strong. We are recovering. We're standing on our own 2 feet. Yes, some of us do need that wand. Some of us do need that crutch, but not for long. Both feet are working. Those legs look strong to me. We just holding on because we're a little doubtful. But if we have to throw that wand down, it's down. And we punching. This sounds funny, but we are like going to start ignoring the manipulation and withdraw from all of it and get into our own psyche. And say, we know what this is. When it's time for us to do what we need to do what we're going to do, we're going to do it. Because the next move, they're going to try to Handmaid's Tale the women again. But employment rules seem to be working. They're going to be shoring up the employment rules again. We're going to be focused on recovery. We're going to be focused. Those of us are going to be focused on recovery. We're going to be fine. We're going to be quite on top of things. No, we are anyway, aren't we? It's just that we feel that those who could do are not doing. And since there's nothing that we can do, yes, it is. Put the thought in your mind, come together as a group and just focus that thought. I just showed you something. Storyteller, I looked at that and I saw the pieces of that doggone thing coming. Oh my God, that helicopter. We're going to the helicopter in New York City that fell in the Hudson River. When that thing went up in the air, what happened? It turned around to come back down the Hudson. And when it turned around, the damn thing started falling apart. Remember when I warned you folks about going up in these planes, these helicopters flying, when the aviation people are pissed off the way they're pissed off? I've warned you. Well, I didn't. They don't watch my program, but I'm saying it again. If you don't have to fly, don't. Because I have noticed, this is not psychic, this is common damn sense. In my lifetime, it appears that whenever these folks get upset in the airplane world, in aviation, I don't care if they're ground crew, especially ground crew. When the ground crew gets upset, when the pilots get upset, when they get their feelings hurt, aircraft comes down for no apparent reason. And then they found out, oh, this screw was loose. That screw was loose. This screw was loose. And they're trying to put it on pilot error. The helicopter that crashed with those people, with the families on it in New York yesterday, was that sabotage? No. Was it poor maintenance that caused the crash? What did I tell you? Yes. A moment. What did I tell you? Thank you, Nick. Hi, Nicholas. Thank you. When the tail, I don't know, what do you call the things? They're not whirly birds. They call the helicopters whirly birds because of the whirling. Oh, come on. I can't think. When the thing in the back, when the tail that whirls fell off, there was another piece that fell off. The thing literally fell apart and turned upside down and crashed. You could see rotor. Thank you, Charlotte Pastor Caldwell. Yes, I like your idea of coming up on the live. I just need more of a cushion, and I want to go into StreamYard before I have people joining me. And that's going to cost me a little bit more money than I'm willing to spend right about now, but I need to feel more secure financially with the tech before I even try anything like that. Unless you want to drop by the house. Yeah, that would be a great idea. Yes. I'm like, that's what Kristen Ford. Do you think we should stand very still and watch them destroy each other? That's what the Dems are doing. That's what Obama is doing. That's what Kamala is doing. Now, when they get too much out of line, you have to check them. I'll buy you guys. Oh, you're down there in Georgia. I haven't been down there in a while. Yes. Be immovable. Oh, you're going to be immovable because what is happening? Did I explain this the other day? It is, look up Araman, but don't get caught up in the evil. You got to break that evil down. Because don't even get caught up with the good evil shit. That's an axiom that gets us in trouble and keeps us slaves. Rudolf Steiner passed away years ago. He was a German mystic. I think he was a scientist. He talked about Ahriman. And I'm like, what is Ahriman? What is Ahriman? And he had this picture of this thing that looked like something like a Hawaiian pole or something. That what do you call those? Totem pole, but it wasn't a totem. It was like a demon pole or some kind of, it had a half, I don't know, a half dog, half. Anyway, thing was ugly. And that was on the cover of his book, I think. And he explained that Ahriman, Ahriman, was a spirit of materialism. Money, wine, women, and song, assets, that focus is there. I've got mine, you've got yours to get, Ahriman energy, versus the Christ consciousness, helping others, helping yourself. Lifting, when you elevate, others elevate with you. Wanting the best for people, wanting the best for yourself, wanting the best for others, wanting others safe, fed, taken care of. Ahriman doesn't believe in that. Ahriman is all about the money. Ahriman is all about being on top. That is Ahriman energy. And I have broken that down because I don't want us to get any more hung up in good and evil than we have already been for the past 1,000 years and get stuck in the mud with that stuff. Because I have lived long enough to see what was considered as evil is now all of a sudden a good thing to do. And vice versa, and flip again. So that stuff is subjective. I hate to say it. We've always been raised with a certain moral code. I've created my own. I got tired of certain things because I could see the politics of it. And a lot of what we believe in is nothing more than politics. Politics of a time that's been brought up to date that can be used to sequester and keep us down still. Yeah, well, I didn't hear that, Linda, but I knew that. Linda Russell said, did you hear that J.D. Vance and Muskrat wants women to have more children? Sure, you have more children, you can't maneuver, you can't do anything, you can't work. But let me tell you something. Here's the whole, rant coming, history lesson. Now, way before, in the 1800s, and especially after 1865, after slavery was stopped in this country, there was a lifestyle. I'm just using that time frame because pretty much that's scholars have written about that time frame. So I don't know what was before that. I haven't read it yet. Okay. Um, it was always talking about men being in the home, men being in the home, men being in the home, men being leading the home, men leading the home, men being in the home. No, they weren't. Men hadn't been in the home up until everybody was in the home during the cottage industries. And that's in Europe and that's over here. But I'm going to focus on over here in the States. Okay. When the Industrial Revolution took place, when slavery was rescinded, all that seemed to change. Okay. Um, Women could not get work unless you were like a tavern owner or something like that, and you inherited a business. That's how you worked. Otherwise, you were a servant of some kind, or you took in clothes and did laundry for people. That was it. Or you were a hoe. That was it. Um, Dance hall girls, actress, nude models. You hear me? Okay. Um, Around 1865, something weird happened. Not just, of course, we had the Civil War, but around that time, things got disruptive. Imagine a tower striking. Okay. Um, this is going to sound really crazy. For Black folk, you had some slave marriages. People did get married in slavery that were more solid in slavery than the freemen's marriages. And that's damn weird. And that's because what was happening is that people were leaving from the South to head north to the big cities where the money was. That's the Industrial Revolution. Okay. We got these factories now, and you can make so much money, so much more in a factory than you can on a farm. Well, when we got to the big cities, the women outnumbered the men by in Philadelphia alone in the 1800s. After 1865, there was 5,000 excess women in Philadelphia alone compared to married women. Now, when you have excess women like that of such large numbers, the men don't seem to take relation. I'm not stepping on toes. I'm talking history, guys. I'm not pointing a finger at you. I'm telling you what is happening. Men do not take marriage as valuable as they did when there were no women. Okay. So now we've got all these women. We can get our needs met by not just one woman, but several women, a la baby mamas. But here's the trick. This is what was so weird. Well, this is what happened. This is what I'm telling you. Something happened during that time of liberation. Maybe it was men's liberation. I don't know. But during that time, men were leaving marriages. White men were, and some of these were well-to-do. Black and white men of the lower income bracket would have to leave. They would leave marriages because the responsibility was too great and they didn't have the money for it. This is also around the time you would have like 6, 10, 8, 11, 12 children. No, you don't have money for that. But there was also the reason to leave would be to take on money in another, you get training and you get a better job in another state. Some came back, some did not. And so you had these women, these living alone with this responsibility, just like you have them now. But at least today we can get jobs. During that time, I don't believe there were straight up laws that said you couldn't work, but there was really nothing for you to do other than work in a factory or wash clothes or be a servant, And this has been going. The baby mama thing is a good 160 years old in the United States that I am aware of. Okay, and that's caused because of the excess women. Well, you can only marry one woman at a time, and at that time you could only marry one woman. But what was happening also was that those men who vowed to stay single and enjoy the casual affair here and there and everywhere They didn't live too long. So by the time many of them reached 40 and got married, they lived long enough to make more children and then they died. So here we have widows, and we also have, they were talking, we were getting this from the census. There were also folks who had been in live together situations. They weren't officially married, but they were living together. They had children, and those men died. The whole thing is marriage is definitely, if you're a married man, you're going to live longer. It's as simple as that, even 160 years ago. Because if you wait too long to get married, you still die young. But that's what has happened. This is where we used to call him Superwoman back in the 70s. Stevie Wonder made a song about Superwoman. This is where your independent woman is coming from. We're talking about the grandmothers' grandmothers who had full responsibility of the house. And let me tell you something, folks. Not only, and some of you may have this in your own families, because not only did you, if you were left behind with children, not only if you had your own children, you may have been taking care of some of the neighbors' children who has fallen on hard times too, and along with some other children in your family. In my family, the great aunts, there was always that one girl. She wanted the soft life. She just moved from man to man to man to man, baby to baby to baby to baby, and she would always send the babies home. Send the baby to grandma. Send the baby to mama. And the grandma would take one, mama would take another aunt would take this child. You get my drift. You get my drift. Yeah, taking care of the children, and that's how they were raised. So this who struck John about running men out the house? No, you weren't in there in the first place. For some of you. And those of you, those others who were men of means, who had white privilege, they just up and fucking left because they got tired of the family situation or whatever. You know, that's interesting because they won't look into, it hasn't been written to see why they left. But a lot of it was because of money. The money's not there. It was not there, not even for them. But that makes no sense either. But then again, I take that back because like I said, something happened. Something happened that's not in the history books, which we're going to probably have to read in somebody's literature one day, and then look at the dates and go, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. Is this why the men up and left? And what they didn't say. Now, when was that? W.E.B. Du Bois wrote about this in his book, The Philadelphia Negro, in 1899. Now, not too long before that, there was a war. I can't remember which one. Who? Not the World Ones. No. When was the Spanish-American War? Where's my tablet? It's funny how nobody talks about the wars that were going on that were killing off the men too. They don't teach it in school. You probably talk it in the family because here's grandpa pop or pop or grandpop's pop in uniform, you know. And I think that was in the 30s. We'll see. Hold on. Spanish-American War. That was straight up with Cuba. That was literally, let me see, hold on. Yeah, Spanish-American War date. 1898 to April 1898 to December 98. Okay, so that was some, okay, but the Spanish-American War, which began in 1898, April 21, 1898, stemmed from a combination of factors including the Cuban struggle for independence from Spain, American support for Cuban independence, and the mysterious explosion of the USS Maine in Havana. So men were killed there too, which fueled public opinion and led to a declaration of war. I don't know much about it, but here's Wikipedia. Okay. The Spanish-American War. Now, what came after that war? World War I was 1917 declared. That doesn't mean soldiers weren't already on the ground. Hello, in Europe. See, it is amazing how there's such a disconnect with education and history. But anyway, yeah, I'm sorry I got off on that tangent. But no, and this has always bothered me. Whenever I hear them talking about baby mamas, I'm like, and your grandmother raised you? Shut it up. Because I know, and even as a child, when I lived on certain blocks, this was Korean War and Vietnam. There may have been two men in the household, and they were old. It was very, I'm going to say rare to see a young man and his wife and kids living in a household. Very, very rare. I don't think I've ever seen one as a child. I didn't see one as a child. I didn't see that as a teenager. Now, because all the men that lived there who were fathers, they were really pop, and they were old. Too old for service, too old to go fight for war, but they were old. And we would have, like, what say you have on a block. I lived in a city, 10 houses on this side of the street, 10 houses on that side of the street. I talked to my sister about this. We had 5 men, five men in head of household, 5 of them. Mm-hmm. 5. Oh, is that what it was, Kristen Ford? A lot. You know, Vietnam, Congress never gave us the okay for Vietnam. And you see how many men were killed there. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there was, yeah. We never had this Leave It to Beaver stuff. Not in the last 100 so years. Not in the last 160 years, at least. There were more families solid during slavery. So I don't know how I got on that. I absolutely forgot. But that's so much for the history lesson. Okay. What were we talking about? I'm sorry, y'all. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that was visions. Right, Kristen, that was visions. Oh, thank you, Kamoyo. The truth is wisdom. Yeah, because no, I don't know how we got on that, but no, this whole thing about what they're doing, trying to get the women out. Yeah, the women had to do what they had to do. No, Linda, that's not your fault. It was interesting, but no. And in slavery, what did they do? You didn't have the male over your head. Y'all had to work together because you had to find a way around massa and feed the children and yourself. And hopefully Massa might give you that land he was talking about giving to you. Yeah. Yeah. So no, we didn't have that. Now I don't know what was, like I said, I just went as far back as 1865. W.E.B. Du Bois went back to his book was published in 1899, but that man was up there in age when he published that book. So he saw some things. And then you also had your income groups. Oh, and something else. Your income groups. I can speak in the Black community because that's the part I am in from, even though I got other stuff in me. This is my home. You have levels. It's damn near a caste system. Levels of income, levels of Black folk. On one side of the family, they're the churchgoers. Did very well. On the other side of the family, so-so. And I just noticed this about them and their friends. I did notice that, well, they were in church. So you had a husband. If you were in church, you're going to get a husband because the church was going to give you one if you didn't have one. Arranged marriages. And that's probably why hey, Nicholas, Oh my God, Nicholas, why you gonna take it there? That's another thing. Ah, hold on. I'll be there. Hold on. Hold that thought, Nicholas. You had in the South, and I do believe until this day, I don't know who those implants down there in Atlanta are, probably from New York, like everywhere, New York and Los Angeles, but they arrange marriages down there. Still, those marriages are arranged, and their families arrange them. So we had that too. Now, those are people of, because you may just been middle class, working middle class, but those marriages were arranged down there, okay, among black folk. Um, when you get up in the city life, everything breaks up, and then you have this dating bullshit, and that's nothing more than screwing around. That's all that is. Um, it's interesting. I mean, grab a sociology book or grab a, literature of the times. If you hate a history book, grab a fiction novel that was written around the times, and that will explain to you how things were done. It's amazing. Now, Nicholas is talking about, well, that damn Japanese American internment, that's what they're trying to do now. Yeah, many Mexican, Irish. Wow. Oh my God. See how they keep that quiet? Well, I tell you about the Irish people that on this plantation where I live. I mean, it's not a plantation now, it's just a city block. But there was a time, and here, check this out. Check this out, Nicholas. They said they imported all these Irish workers because they were the best workers. They imported them. They imported them just like they imported us, but I think they gave them a bigger song and dance. Oh, you can make a better life. Come on. Next thing you know, you hijacked and can't get off the damn boat and you over here to work. Mm-hmm. Same stuff. Same stuff. Yeah. Oh, Kristen Ford is still in her Stevie Wonder. You haven't done nothing. Hey, Steve, how are you? How about you? Yes, yes, Steve. Yeah, how about these people are coming up missing? How about these women and girls from the reservation? As soon as you say women and girls, that tells you what is going on. That's about sex trafficking. And they snatch an old woman like me and expect me to do the floors and stuff. No, that's going to kill me. Not as long as Charlotte Pastor Caldwell said, human trafficking ever end. Not as long as we got this dichotomy. See, folks, we don't expect. This is Earth. This is Earth. We are here to learn what not to do. We are not here to make this heaven on earth because we can't. Heaven is heaven and earth is earth. Yeah, and our job is to swim through this stuff and come out better people. That's our function. That's our purpose. How we choose to do it is basically through our desires. What is it that we like to do? And that's how we try to improve ourselves and improve our community and keep it moving. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, on the reservation, Teresa. I thought of you when we were talking about that. Yeah. Yeah. And how often does this have to come up and I still don't hear anything? I still don't hear anything. Have you heard anything in the news about them discovering any missing women from the res? How about little girls? How about the older girls? Well, if I ever turn up missing, call in my ancestors, please, because I will be calling them too. And wherever the hell they take me, we going to war. Yeah, and the word is destroy whomever, destroy, annihilate. Yeah, pretend I'm a Dalek. I go Dalek, and it must be exterminated. Be stopped. That's too much sci-fi for me. Too much sci-fi. Yeah, that's what. Then that tells, like I said, Steve. That tells you what that is. They would bring me back. Me too, Pastor Charlotte, Pastor Caldwell. She crazy. She's too scary. She's too scared. Which reminds me of Tatuba, but we're not talking about her right now because that's another whole nother conversation, whole nother rant. They were so scared of Tatuba. Oh, she's a witch. She's a witch. Yeah, she was a witch or something like that. I don't know. Everything is not a witch. Every woman is not a witch because she knows a little spiritual something and she can command the airs, waters, fire, and earth. Nope, that does not necessarily make her a witch. But if you mess with her, it might make you a little something. Yeah, that was Tituba. They had her arrested, her sitting her in the jail from what I've read. And the next thing you know, they had to let her go. They let her go quick, fast, and in a hurry because something happened to the town. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you FAO with a witch, you know. But anyway, on that note, yeah, yeah. Oh no, now they're going for the older Teresa. If I were you, it's time to call in some ancestors, put up some spiritual walls, do what y'all do, do what you do, and put it on them. Yeah, do what y'all do. Whatever it takes to defend yourselves, to protect, protect. It's better to protect than you have to defend. Okay, prevention, prevention. I don't know about the different things you do, but I know spiritualize your house, spiritualize your garage, spiritualize your car, spiritualize your neighborhood, spiritualize your street, and put a little something, something on those borders with a little ritual and enforce it, reinforce it. I don't know if it's once a week, once a month, or every day. You have to. Yeah, you would need that rescue mission to come get me. Come on, yo. Thank you. Thank you. And I hope you wouldn't be coming by yourself. Oh yeah. Yeah, folks, we've had that. We've had that in the family. We've had the murdered beauty, the abuse, and the murdered child in the family. Yeah. And as usual, nothing too much the law could do. I didn't have any handle in that at all. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. But from what I was told, it was handled. And that's nobody asked any questions on both sides. It was handled. Yeah. Okay. I just found out my grandmother was Piscataway, which makes perfect sense. But that also leads to some questions. I'm going to ask her one day. I have to sit down and see if I can. You thank me for what? Oh, directly north of San Carlos. Where? Oh my God! Oh, I've heard about Ebony. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And see, out there when you're in the boonies and you have so much land and distance from each other, anything can happen. I remember. Here we go. And after this, Sherlock Holmes was on the train with Dr. Watson, and Watson was talking about how beautiful the landscape was. And what did Sherlock said? It's just only reminded me of how much crime can take place, and no one would be there to witness it. I'm like, damn, Sherlock, have I been watching you too long? Okay, that's it. Happy Friday, everyone. I stayed on a little bit too long, but we're going to be all right. Okay, okay. Much love, y'all. See you Monday or Tuesday, depending. Might see me tomorrow. Who knows?